Welcome into this edition of One Nation Weather. I'm going to be breaking down Category 4 Hurricane Hilary for you here in this video, so stick around for the next 5 minutes. So let's go ahead and get right into this. There it is. You can see it pushing along the southwestern kind of coastline for you there of Baja California, but it's several hundred miles offshore. I should point that out for you. Now, in terms of your alerts, you can see red is a hurricane warning, pink is a hurricane watch. So the west central coast of Baja California has that hurricane warning, but everywhere else on Baja California's coastline has at least a tropical storm warning, so keep that in mind. There is now a tropical storm watch in Southern California now. Here's the reason for that. There's a 50% chance of tropical storm force winds entering Southern California over the course of the next 48 to 60 hours for us here, so keep that in mind, that as we go towards Sunday, we're going to see the onset of those gusty winds. Now, here's the steering current that's causing this. There's a dome of heat. As you may know, you've heard it from many other weather sources as well as One Nation Weather. You can see the high-pressure system sitting over the Midwest, as well as that low-pressure system back off to its west, and with that clockwise flow, that will dig this system right into the southwestern coast of the United States for us here. Saturday towards 2 p.m. Pacific time, we're just beginning to see this enter the picture for us in the southwest, but as you can see as we head towards your 5 a.m. Pacific time on your Sunday, we're going to start to see some of these very heavy rain bands start to enter. Even though the system's not going to be directly overhead, that doesn't matter. The heavy rain will be out ahead of it, and then as we go into towards your Sunday 8 p.m. Pacific time, that's going to be when things really ramp up. Heavy rain hitting the mountain ranges there, and really since this is coming in from the south and kind of some of these bands coming in from the southeast, that's really going to help these make their way into the mountains and move up past them as well, because there's not as much topography to block them directly for us here as you would with a system moving in directly from the west. So here's the heaviest rain as we go towards your Sunday late afternoon, pushing on in from portions of Southern California up towards Nevada. A few totals to 12 inches will be possible in elevation, but anywhere you see the yellows where at least 4 inches of rain are expected, that's a pretty widespread area for us there, from portions of, say, the San Diego region all the way on up into southern Nevada. So your Saturday flood risk looks like this. You can see the best chance for flooding will sit right there into portions of far southeastern California, but note that that level 2 risk goes all the way up into southwestern Utah, so there is going to be some heavy rain potential there as well. There's a little branch of this moisture that will push up towards Idaho and Montana that could create some flooding on Sunday, but the best chance for flooding is going to be in that red and pink area for you there. That is the highest possible flood risk in the pink, surrounding places like Los Angeles and San Diego on the east sides of those cities for you there. Gusty winds will also be a primary threat for you here. You can see the system really breaking apart, but as systems like this break apart, they kind of spread weaker wind gusts over a larger span of an area for us here, but keep this in mind, weaker means more like 60 miles per hour, which could certainly bring down some trees with the heavy rainfall included in that threat. Brief tornadoes will also be possible in these bands. The bands on the east side of the storm always have the chance to produce those tornadoes, which is why places like Arizona will have the best chance of those tornadoes to come on in. So here's what you need to know. Hilary remains a hurricane for now and will bring hurricane force gusts along Baja California through Sunday. This is a damaging system. You need to know that this is going to be producing some very widespread impacts up that coastline for us here. Portions of southern Nevada, California, and Arizona will feel the early impacts in the form of heavy rainfall and flooding. Some of that monsoonal moisture is beginning now. We will continue to see the impacts of this just develop over the course of the next 48 hours. And then as we look at your next headline, Sunday night, and Monday will bring the worst flooding and the chance for gusty winds and tornadoes to the USA. Again, this is in the southwest, but what the key area that this is going to be really impacting is California, southern Nevada, and western Arizona, as well as far southwestern Utah. So if you live in any of those areas, be ready for this, especially life-threatening rainfall for us here. And another reason it's life-threatening, especially if you live with topography for us here, landslides and mudslides will be possible as rain totals of 4 to 8 inches fall in scattered fashion, and a few of those totals up to 8 to 12 inches occur. Also busy right now is the Atlantic. We've got 4 areas to watch. The one in red there furthest off towards the east has a 70% chance. Then we've got a few with that 30 to 40% chance, one moving into the Caribbean, one in the Gulf, and one kind of meandering there, moving towards the central Atlantic. Now, what I am going to talk about here in just a moment is that Gulf one, because I think it is the one that deserves at least the most immediate attention, but it is not extremely concerning, I can tell you that. And that is the good news for us here. But what I did just want to point out for you first is the reason some of these systems out in the Atlantic are not too concerning right now. It's the fronts coming right off the northeast coast of the United States for us here, pushing on off towards the east that could sweep this away, and really should and will sweep this away is the better terminology for us here, and keep these offshore. So at least two systems are kind of eliminated with that. The one in the Caribbean deserves some later watching, but for now let's talk about the one in the Gulf. It deserves immediate attention for the weekend rain it will bring to the Bahamas and Florida. Some brief flooding may occur out of this. It's going to bring a little bit more than those afternoon thunderstorms that you get with the humidity this time of the year. This is increased humidity. This is increased rainfall. This is an increased system in terms of intensity, but it's not a tropical storm. It's not like Florida can't handle this for us here. Just treat those wet roads with caution for us here. Moving west into the Gulf as we head towards our Monday, notice how most of this rain will pretty much stay south of the Gulf Coast, but if you're looking off from a place like, say, Biloxi, Mississippi, off towards the south and southwest, you might see some of those grayer skies indicating that system is out there. And then as we go into your Tuesday, that's when we're really going to see the breeze pick up, some of this rainfall begin to push on into portions of southern Texas, right along that coastline for us here to watch. Some of the rainfall totals out of this will be quite hefty, but it will not be enough to cause extreme widespread flooding, but what it could do is cause some issues with some of the ponding on those roadways. Here's exactly what we're looking at the rainfall map. Notice barely a tenth of an inch in any of those light green shades, so really Houston and right along the Gulf Coast, not much rain there. But coming off Florida, moving through the Gulf and into far southern Texas and the Corpus Christi, Brownsville area will be that swath of 2 to 4 inches of rain. That is where I'm most concerned for us here. But for now, go ahead and like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Here are the credits, and have a great, safe night as these conditions worsen in some areas.